Good evening, everybody. Can you hear us loud and clear? Wow, you've all been so patient waiting. Apologies, we've had a couple little delays just getting different judges sorted, but welcome to the travel category for the Iris Awards here in Christchurch for 2023. My name is Simone Jackson. I've got the gorgeous Stacey Cavalier here with assisting me. We're doing the panel chair this evening, and we've got some amazing judges ready to come up shortly too. First, what I'm going to do, the travel category has been sponsored by Fujifilm, so we're really grateful to Fujifilm for doing this for us. They're fantastic guys, and they're out. They're going to be out at the trade stands. Ira and his team will be out there as well, so you can go to him for more information and the team for the Fujifilm products they have on offer. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to read out the category description for the travel category, and it starts here. So with the travel category, it says, photographs that illustrate a destination or culture and communicate some aspect of travel, even if the location is local. Travel relates to an area's landscape, people, culture, customs, and history. Photographs should express or refer once either the feeling of a time and place or simply portray the land or its people in its natural state. So that is what the judges will be looking for as well. And at the moment, we're going to bring up some of the judges. We might start off with, I'm going to do a little bit of a mix here. I might start off with Mike Langford, Johan van Kaan, Lizzie Gilmore, Paul Daly, isn't it? It's Daly? Daly, sorry. Who? Oh, okay, sorry. I'll give you a bit of a break. And we'll bring Catherine Williams up, please. Bit of a mix. And Dan McGrath. Thank you. So get you all logging in. We're getting close to it. Yeah, we'll do the run through. We haven't done the run through yet. Sorry. Yeah, I've just realised. Sorry, Lizzie. I'm way too ahead of myself. I've got adrenaline going. Right. Are you all ready? You got your eyes ready to peeled for the travel? Okay, here we go. Thank you. We've got some amazing imagery there. Actually, Catherine, I might just give you a break at the moment. I was going to pop you on, but I've just realised I can't at the moment. So instead, I'm going to bring in Craig Turner-Bollock, please. Thank you. And Lizzie, we'll get you in. And judges, I'll just let you all know I'm going to be doing lots of swap arounds, quite a bit. So, yeah. Thank you. Oh, lovely. Okay. Okay. So this is made here. So if that's the case, and we'll pop Catherine Katanak on, actually. Thank you. Thank you, Catherine. So you're all ready to roll? Right. I'll just check with the print handlers. Print handlers, are you all ready to roll? We're good to go. Oh, but wonderful. Thank you. Right. May we have the first print, please? We have got a silver at 80. However, we've actually got a challenge. Craig, you're challenging?
Yeah, I'm at 86. I just felt that this image had a little bit more of a story going on than was obvious at first glance. The mirroring of the camels and then the opposite posing of the handler, and also the fact that he's really hunched over. So he's, I mean, it's probably not easy riding camels and dragging them along everywhere for a living, right? So he's getting old and hunched like his friends. And then I saw the little bits of grass sticking out of that camel on the left's mouth too, and I thought that was really, really cool because, yeah, they like to eat a lot and a bit like horses in that respect. So, yeah, so I thought that there was a little bit of a deeper story here, and I wanted to reward that.
Thank you. Could I maybe hear from Catherine? You're down a bit lower. Catherine or Mike?
I gave this 73. I felt that they are beautiful animals and he's an interesting character, and it was photographed very professionally, but I didn't feel, when you see interesting characters when you're travelling, and I didn't really see that the photographer had brought anything to this that was bringing it up into the award range for me. And I also found this slight confusion of the second camel with the hump of the first one. If they had had a little more separation, we could have had a bit of a flow through the image, would have strengthened it for me.
Thank you, Catherine. Johan?
I gave this an 81. I really want this image to do well. I like that the line from the rein of the camel is leading us through back to the camel master, or whatever you might call him. And I like the contrast that he's looking out for danger and they're looking out for danger, but they're looking in other directions. But the contrast that comes from, he's wearing a tiger t-shirt, and that's kind of like not camel stuff. Tigers and camels don't mix. So, it was a bit insensitive of him, perhaps, or he's just trying to take control. So I gave this an 81. I'm glad you've brought it up to an 86. I'm happy to support you.
Thank you. And I think Mike wants to chat as well.
Sorry to be slightly negative about it, but the burning in on the corners, I mean, I'm talking about professionalism and presenting a print of a professional quality. That burning in on the corners is just so overt that it's distracting.
Right, thank you, Mike. I think, Craig, back to you.
Yeah, I think some of those kind of technicals is why I didn't go even higher. So, yeah, I don't really have much to add. I think, Johan, you pointed out the tiger, which I think is awesome as well, and adds even more to it for me. So, yeah, rescore.
Oh, I love the fact you make me do my job. So good. You've got it to a really solid silver, 82. Congratulations to the photographer. We'll accept that. I'm just making sure I do this because I've new system and I forgot how to do it. Here we go. Well done. So, may we please have the next print? We have got a silver award at 83. However, we've got someone on fire down the end. We have Craig,
Sorry,
you're
me
you're
again.
challenging? No, all great.
Listen, there's so much texture in this that is beautiful, and it really honours the legacy that this woman's life has given, and that those lines and wrinkles, and then it's offset by those 3 detail shots on that side, which have the kind of grey blue tones in it, which is a really beautiful complement to those warmer tones in her skin that really adds an energy to her, and that energy combined with the light in her eyes, even though she seems like she's probably very old, it just says to me she's not done yet. There's more to go. She's got more to give. My score was 88.
Thank you, Craig. Dan, could you give your score and how do you feel about it?
Certainly. 78. I hear what you're saying, Craig, and it is really beautifully photographed. My instant feeling when I looked at it is I would prefer to have seen all of the other elements combined into one picture. I find it disjointed. Where this woman's face is so strong, we've got these other elements distracting from it. There, I said it.
We've got quite a few right in the middle, so I'd love to hear from Catherine or Mike.
Yeah, I gave this 82. I'm a bit confused by the layout of the elements, because she's looking out to the frame to the right and the other elements are leaning out to the left, which means the centre of the entire photograph or frame is pretty empty, and I'm finding that a bit distracting.
Oh, Johan. Thank you, Mike.
Sorry, did Catherine want to say something? No. Okay, I gave this an 86, and I would have gone higher, but I felt exactly what you felt, Mike, that hollow in the middle was dark and it was depressing almost. And it lacked the life that you wanted to feel from that person, because, as you say, it seems like they've still got a lot living to go. So there's a little bit of confusion within that, but it's still a very strong image, and it's very direct, and it's aimed at you to look at as the viewer. I gave it 86.
Thank you, Johan. And Craig, back to you.
That space in the middle is a void, And despite the energy and the life that's still in her eyes, I think the reality is that there probably isn't much life left in this person. So I think that adds to it, and it adds to the tension for me. Those 3 frames at the edge, Dan, you can't combine those into one shot. They're detail shots of different body parts, so you'd need to put the whole person in. So I like to see those lines of life lived and those details in her tattoo and the really distorted and warped fingers. I think they all bring together a part of this personality of this woman. Just a few more points to bring it up to a silver distinction is all I'm asking.
Thank you, Craig. Judges, if you could rescore. We've got a really solid silver at 84. Congratulations to the photographer. Now we're, and I just thought we've actually got a bit of a luxury here too. We're actually in the only judging room, so we can make as much noise as we want, and we're going to have to because it's late. So we can just do a few high fives and bits and pieces. If you're feeling it, you're feeling the love, we've got to do this because we've all got to keep each other going. I've also got sugar. I can't give anyone alcohol, but we've got sugar. So yeah. Right, ready to roll too. I will be doing a few judge swap arounds quite a bit though, so hopefully that'll kind of, you'll get into a system, but it will be a little bit disjointed, but we'll see how we go. Cool, could we please have the next print? We have a score of 77, which is a bronze award. Well done. Congratulations to the photographer, we'll accept that. Johan, you really enjoyed that image. Would love to hear from what you've got to say to the entrant, and also maybe what you feel that maybe they could work on to get a couple of more points higher.
Yes, love the wistful expression on the man's face, almost like what's gone wrong here. And it's hard to work out what might have gone wrong. So in the image though, it's overall quite grey, and it feels like it's been over-treated to get to that end. So maybe holding back on that might have livened the image up a bit more.
Thank you so much, Johan. Could we have a blank screen, please, print handlers? Mike, I'm going to give you a bit of a break. Thank you very much for your work there. And I might bring in Chris, our Aussie. Thank you very much. Chris Anderson, we'll pop you in there. So we're currently judging the travel category, proudly sponsored by Fujifilm. And we're very grateful to Fujifilm for giving us really awesome support as well. And you've logged in there, Chris? Brilliant, right. Could we have the next print, please? We have a score of 76, which is a bronze award. Well done. Congratulations to the photographer. All the points are reasonably close there, within 2 or 3 points. And may I hear from Dan, please, about what you enjoyed about that image? And but also, you need to give a little bit of extra as well.
I enjoyed this picture. It's plainly obvious that the photographer was sitting on the other horse, and he's taken a great picture. I think the picture is a little flat from the tonal point of view, and we need a bit more shadow detail, perhaps in the main subject at the front there.
Okay.
Otherwise than that, it's a very pretty picture. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan, and congratulations to the entrant. May we please have the next print? We have a bronze award at 75. However, we've got Catherine is challenging this score.
That's an interesting result. I gave this an 84. This had really strong initial impact for me when it turned around as really strong graphic, strong use of shadow. And I'm really enjoying the layering in this, and the foreground, middle ground, background, the way I'm sort of led back into this image. I think the photographer has handled this very high contrast situation really well, because you can even see the details in the donkey's feet there, and there's the use of black dotted around the image that sort of contains it. So you've got the heavier black shadow top left, and then some dark details along the other side of the top. The subjects are walking away from us, but I feel like that just makes us kind of part of this image, and we're kind of surging forward with them. I'm finding it really intriguing, and would like to have a bit of a chat.
Right, now down the other end, we've got Craig. Oh yeah, I know Johan, sorry, but Craig put his hand up first, but you two can choose. Here we go.
All right. Okay. The decisive moment was when the shadow wasn't on the horse's mouth. And that shadow of the horse itself would have been clearer and cleaner and added an element of strength to the image. I gave this a 70 because I felt that it was just shy of when it should have been. I also feel there's probably a little bit too much information on each end of the image, and information that's not relevant really to the story. I do like the falling down shadow from the top. I think that's definitely contains it, but otherwise I'm a little bit not happy. But cheer me up.
Not happy, Johan. Let's get a bit happier. Chris, I'd love to hear from you. You're more in the middle. Thank you. And your score?
I'm on 77. I'm not sure I have much to add. I hear what you're saying, Catherine, and the feeling of being in this moment that's really strong and being led somewhere. I agree with Johan about the mouth being shadowed. I could have just said I don't have anything to add. I have nothing to add. I want to listen.
Okay, Catherine, you've got 4 listening ears now.
Okay, so for me, the strength of this shadow is as a graphic element to it rather than the shadows of the figures themselves. So I hadn't noticed that we didn't have a clean shadow of the donkey / horse, whatever it is. I'm not very good at these things. That wasn't necessary for me. I'm just really enjoying the fact that this photographer has brought their own vision here and is really showing us a cool, striking image with depth and layering out of a fairly mundane scene. So I feel that they've really brought themselves to it in a perspective which I would love to see rewarded.
Thank you, Catherine. Judges, can we rescore? We've brought it up a point. We've got 76. Good bronze award, and every point counts. Thank you for that. Every point counts, so it is important. Thank you very much. May we have the next print? One more to go in. Hoo-hoo, we have a 79, which is a very strong bronze. However, we have a challenger. Johan was quick on the dial there.
I gave this a 92, and you might question that, obviously, because some of you have given it such a poor score. I love this collection of anemones, and it really brightened my thoughts, and I looked at it as quite a graphic rather than a representation of rain or cold or anything like that. And the photographers presented them to us in these wonderful diagonals, and I think the trick is not to scrutinize. If you scrutinize, you destroy them. You turn them into what they really are. And I think what you need to do is allow your imagination to fill you with happiness and all those lovely things. I gave it 92.
Right,
very
now,
happy one.
Down the other end, I'd like to maybe talk to Dan, please. As in, yeah, Dan McGrath.
Well, that was a very good description. Thank you very much indeed. So, to me, this looked like 9 parasols. And they were all sort of a bit of a mishmash. But there is a three-dimensional quality about it, which I do like. I think that's nice. And the pastel shades are really pretty. But that's where I would leave it.
Thank you.
And I scored 74.
Thank you, Dan. And Chris.
I'm on 78. I am going to scrutinize it, though. Sorry. I think this is a genius idea, and there's a part of this, I actually really appreciate the images that have a yellow line crossing through them as well, so there's like a consistency to several of them. It's getting up close where I feel like there's a lot of crunchiness around the edges of those, particularly like if you look at the bottom right, that red one, the edges they're not, they're artifacts from whatever process has been used to do this, and there's everything else almost looks like feathers and waves, and it's soft, and then there's a harsh, maybe mechanical, computerized edge around some of those that I feel kind of pulls me away from the feeling of movement and motion. So I think I would have gone higher if we hadn't had those artifacts.
Now, as we're talking gold, I'd love to hear from a few others. Thanks, Catherine.
I gave this 76, so I did bring it into the award range because I agree this is a really fun concept and there's some interesting colours going on here. However, I don't feel that the underlying images themselves are strong. This is a cool idea that's made up of not that strong photographs, and I don't feel that there's a lot of colour going on, but I don't feel that some of them can stand up to others. You know, they're outweighed by them. There are also some quite distracting elements coming into a few of them, and I feel that the whole thing is printed very light. But yeah, so I do applaud the vision of the photographer to come up with this concept, but I just wish that the underlying material that they were working with was up to the game.
Thank you, Catherine. Back to you, Johan.
There is a sort of strong watery feel to the backgrounds. There's a flow and a wish-wash. and the images themselves are washed out, and there's all these things that add to the sense of busyness, but overall with this pattern of 9 elements, it becomes calm again. I've given the 92. I see that some of you will struggle with that, but see what you can do.
Right, thank you, Johan. Judges, see what you can do. Johan, you've done well. You've brought it to an 81 silver award. Congratulations. That's why we've got 5 judges on the panel. Really, really helps getting all those different ideas. Yes, let's do that. What I might do is, could we have a blank screen, please? Dan McGrath, thank you so much for your good work there. We'll give you a bit of a break. And Paul Daly, could we pop you in place there? We'll get you logged on. Thank you, Paul. So we're currently judging the travel category, proudly sponsored by Fujifilm. Major distribution of imaging equipment here in New Zealand. Very grateful to them. You ready to roll? Brilliant. May we have the next print, please? Sorry. We've got a silver award at 80. Congratulations. That was majority 3. Thank you very much. That's fantastic result for the photographer. You enjoyed that, Craig? Thank you.
Yeah, I did. So I think the panels are all really great shots in and of themselves. Together, they tell a really nice story. I just really feel that they're all really grey. There's not a lot of tonal range in there. So some more contrast, some deeper blacks would really lift this series up.
Thank you so much, Craig. Much appreciated for that critique there. May we have the next print, please? How are you going, judges? We have a silver award at 80. Congratulations to the entrant. Paul, you really enjoyed that image.
I did score at 80.
Thank you.
And yeah, the print quality is beautiful. Just sort of like glide in there. And I did enjoy that composition with I don't know what I'm looking at as far as who, what, etc. But the iconography on the left-hand side and and the mask sort of had an interrelationship, and yeah, so I quite enjoyed that, and yeah.
I'm going to be a bit mean to you though. I'm sure the intro would like some critique as well. We need to give some kind of feedback there. Johan, thank you.
Just a simple thing down the right-hand side of the subject, there's just a little bit of brightness, and that's just could have been avoided. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Johan. May we please have the next print? We've got a silver award at 80. Congratulations. However, we've got a very fast hand down the end. Johan, you're challenging this.
Yes, I gave it 88. I love the way it kisses the side of the frame. I love the way that it's quite gentle and spirals you into the middle, and you fall into this hole, and then you spiral back out, and you end out on this curved shape on the bottom. It's just slightly lit and takes you to a peaceful place.
Thank you, Johan. Chris, how are you feeling there?
I'm great. I put this into bronze at 76. Love the spirals, love the feeling, love the movement around the image. Appreciate that the top left-hand corner has that tiny little bit of spiral that continues through it. I think and this is really predictable, I wish it was centered. I wish that the photographer was standing in a slightly different spot so that center window had an evenness around it. But maybe that wouldn't have resulted in the composition that we could see. So I could move up a little bit, but I want to hear more.
Thank you, Chris. I'd like someone more middle of the road, maybe who'd like to chat as well. That we've either got Catherine or Craig. Paul, you seemed more, you leaned forward, Paul, we've got you.
No, I don't actually have any more to add. I was thinking exactly the
Okay.
same things as Chris.
I would like to do a bit more justice to the entrant, thank you.
Sure. I gave this 77 because of that outer curve that you described there, Johan. You know, this is a beautiful church, spire thing that the photographers come across. We see spiral images, but I think that the photographer has brought that composition with that, the one that went in from the top into the centre and out, and that little bounce. That's what brought it into an award range for me. That's where I got to. Need a bit more.
Thank you. So Johan, back to you.
There's a wonderful sheen as you travel down from the central element. It reminded me in a way of the spring on a watch, and it led you out to, well, almost the bottom of a musical note. And the progression from the blue through to the warm, it just has a strong sense of balance and calm. I gave it an 88. See what you can do.
Thank you, Johan. Judges, could we get you to rescore, please? You've moved them up, Johan. We have a very solid silver at 83. Congratulations. We'll accept that. And may we have the next print, please? We have a silver distinction at 85. I knew this was going to get exciting. However, we've got a challenge from Catherine.
I did not predict I'd be going straight to gold on a picture of a coffee bus, but here we are. This photograph is just exquisite. It turned up and I just thought, wow, like the initial impact with that colour, and then you get in there and your eye just flows around it so beautifully. I think it's been gorgeously composed. The time of day is fantastic with that gentle sky in the background, and just the use of colour, you know, with the balloon obviously at the top there, and it just when you head out to the left and there's a little yellow hose on the tree, you just bounce around the colour. I think the presentation is beautiful. It's a really luminous print. I can't fault this, and it's an unusual image of something that's probably pretty mundane at this area where the balloons are taking off, and I just think the photographer's done a wonderful job of finding the beauty and presenting a masterful image.
Thank you, Catherine and Johan.
Yeah, naughty me, I gave it 82. And while you were talking, I thought about this category, which is travel category. I want to go to that place. I want to have coffee from there. Yeah. So it's a successful image. And I love that the balloon's cropped the way it is. It gives me a sense of tension, space, somewhere to go. And that it's the only balloon. You know, the others are there, but that's the one of power. So I apologise, and yes, I'll come up to gold with you. Yeah.
Thank you, Johan. May I hear from Chris? You're keen to chat? Thank you.
I put this in, I'm on 82, and that was for the sense of humor. It's like, I love the idea that we're in this exotic place, but the reward for landing is coffee, because everyone's really keen and they're cold, and the bus is so modern and Western, and I love that. I was kind of struggling a little bit with the color of the background and the color of the mountains in the distance, and the fact that they were so muted when the foreground was so strong. But that's why it's important. So, yeah, I don't need a whole lot of convincing to come up.
Thank you. Oh, you're keen to talk, Craig?
Yep.
Cool.
This is your last chance for coffee before Phileas Fogg takes you around the world. I gave it 87. I think that's a bit mean. I'm definitely coming up as well.
Thank you, Craig. So we're back to you, Catherine, I think. I think you're...
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything extra to add. Let's go.
Oh, thanks so much, everyone, for the support. Yeah, this is a brilliant image. We've got moment. This feels like a still out of a movie, really, doesn't it? And you know, with the colours, the muted tones, beautiful time of day, and then this just absolutely pops. It's in your face. A photo, it's nearly probably from the car park. I mean, well done to the photographer. Let's give it a gold.
Thank you, Catherine. Judges, can we rescore? Catherine, you've made a gold. 92. Congratulations to the entrant. Very exciting. Very exciting. Right. I'm going to do just a little judge change at the moment. Craig, I'll give you a bit of a break. Thank you. I'm Catherine Williams. I'm going to bring another girl to the judging panel, if I could. Another Catherine, yeah. Luckily, Catherine with a K. Thank you. And who needs a sugar rush? I've got lollies. Ready to put your hands up? No? One? A couple? I'm literally going to throw some lollies because I've been told to do that. So anyone wants to put their hands up for lollies? You ready? 1, 2. Couple more. I hope it didn't. Oh no! And we'll. I know, I've been missiled. Okay, I've woken up. How about you guys? Right, have you logged on there, Catherine? Oh. Sorry. Okay, so are we ready to go? You've logged on, Catherine? Yep, brilliant, thank you. May we have the next print?
And we have an initial score of 73. Paul, would you like to take that challenge? You happy? Okay, so that is a final score of 73, professional standard. And a comment for the entrant, please. Perhaps Chris, you look like you.
I had the raised eyebrows of commenting. I was on 72, so high professional practice. I feel like that main figure's hat is getting lost in the background, and there's a little bit of something creeping in the bottom left-hand corner, which are both a product of this not quite being the decisive moment. And the nice thing about being in this location is chances are there are going to be a lot of opportunities to photograph someone with a phone while they're walking. So I think it is a good representation of this location and the people who were there, and a slightly different capture would have nailed it.
Good scoring judges, nice and consistent. 75, Bronze Award. Could we please have a comment from Catherine?
Hi, congratulations to the photographer on this. Sorry.
Sorry, I haven't got my Catherine sorted.
Sorry, it's
That'll
late.
be Catherine Catanach.
The reindeer with its tongue out is a great moment. It did feel a wee bit too tight, particularly on the top, and sort of making sense of why it's been cropped like that. Did sort of leave me from going any higher. Were you going to say that, Catherine, or? Okay, great.
Brilliant, thank you. Next print, please.
We have a silver award at 80. Well, all within a few points of each other. Congratulations to the entrant. May I hear from who would like to talk to the photographer, what they enjoyed? Chris, you really enjoyed that image, eh? Thank you.
I really did. I wish I could speak better French. The cat's on the inside, and there's a word meow just above that someone's kind of written in the dust. But whatever that phrase is, I think it says the cat is trapped, and then and something else. And if I could read French better, it would be better. So there's a wonderful story going on, and that cat's really sad. It's just a wonderful discovery. This discovery of this location and could you place that cat more centrally and more sadly than nature has done it for you. So brilliant sense of humor. Well done.
Thank you so much, Chris. Much appreciated. May we please have the next print? We've got a 74, which is a professional standard there. Really good, consistent judging of this image. May we have a comment from one of the... Yeah, thank you, Johan.
I like the graphic elements with the repeated X's coming through, quite a gentle image. It's a little bit flat, and unfortunately there's a big line going through the man's head, which takes away from that sense of calm.
Thank you so much, Johan. May we please have the next print? Right, we have a 79, which is a very high bronze award. So there's an opportunity to challenge it. Yes, you'll take it, Catherine? Thank you.
I gave this an 84 because I think it's a striking graphic image, and I just think the timing is wonderful with that little bit of separation between every single camel. You know, it could have been a jumble, but they're all just separated by a sliver. And I'm also getting a story because some of the riders seem to be waving phones around, taking pictures of the beautiful surrounds. And I think the inclusion of the blue at the top left just gives us the sense of the scale of that amazing mountain. They're so beautifully positioned in the frame. The great solid base is just stand on. Yeah, I'd just love to see this over the line into silver.
Thank you so much, Catherine. Thank you, Johan.
What I found fantastic scenery, you know, it's just absolutely stunning. And I wanted to get a feeling of epic, but it's almost too tightly cropped to give that sense. I wanted more space around them. I wanted them to go somewhere. I wanted them to exist in a larger environment, even though we can see that the mountain is big. I just wanted them to have a bit more freedom. At the moment, they feel quite compressed. I gave them a 77, which I'm very happy with.
Thank you, Johan. And Chris?
I'm on 78, and after spending some more time with it, I'm going to come up. I appreciate they're moving from right to left. I'm willing to bet wherever this is, the language is read in that direction, so I like that. The sense of scale that you get from the mountain, if you look towards the bottom left-hand corner, there's a city or buildings or something, and so to me, but they're traveling towards it. That's the epic, that's the scale, that's what's giving it the size. And then I'll return back to what Catherine said about each of those silhouettes being well-defined. I think one of them's holding a gun. I'm not sure. I hope it's a phone. It's a pistol. Anyway, I was mean on 78. I'm coming up to silver.
Thank you, Chris. And Oh, yep, Paul's keen to chat.
I just wanted to say that the base it's incredibly deep black. I mean, like, there's no detail there whatsoever, and that was what pulled me back a little bit. There's marginal detail in the silhouettes of the camel riders, but the base was pitch black to me.
Thanks, Paul. And back to you, Catherine.
Okay, the base was something I mentioned as a strength. This is a silhouette shot. I don't need any detail in the riders or the base. And Johan, this is pretty epic surroundings in my book. I don't know what places you travel to, but this is plenty epic for me. And I also feel that they have plenty of space. They have the negative space to move into. There's all that space above them as well. And I feel that, yeah, you could have gone bigger so they looked smaller in the landscape, but then would we've missed the detail of the slivers between them and the phones and the guns, you know?
Thank you, Catherine. Judges, could we rescore this print? We've got a good silver at 81. Congratulations. That's well done. We'll accept that. May we have the next print, please? We have a silver at 83. However, it wasn't going to last long. Catherine has challenged.
I'm going to get myself taken off the panel in a minute. I've given this 93. I just think this is fabulous. This is the travel category, right? We are getting such a sense of space in this little girl's world, and I'm just really enjoying the play on colour here. The repetition of the coloured doors, and then that blue barrel out to the right. The sense of mood here, you know, she's standing out there, and I kind of, from the landscape, she's really popping. And then I came up there and I thought, oh, she's going to be looking at the camera, and she's not. She's just glancing down. And I thought, wow, this is brilliant, because it's just adding to that whole muted mood. It's quite sad. And then I'm just loving the contrast of that with the colour in the background, but also the joy of her outfit, which is so not there in her reality. Maybe she's like from a travelling family and doing gypsy things. She's bored as hell, got no friends, she's in this landscape. You know, there's so much story here, as well as this beautiful panoramic crop and the use of colour. I think this photographer is giving us something really special here.
Yeah, Johan, just before I talk to you, because I know you're keen, I wouldn't mind just talking to someone a little bit lower than Johan. So, Paul, can I get a quick word from you, please?
Yeah, I might have been overly mean on this because I did really want to like it, and probably the only thing I got hung up on, and it's probably affected me a little bit, was the distortion with obviously a wide angle, and we're getting a little bit of everything's sort of leaning back a little bit. Yeah, as I said, I've probably got a little bit hung up on that, so I'm willing to listen.
Thank you, Paul. Johan.
Funny you should mention distortion. The thing that sprung to mind, I gave this 81 and was probably a bit tight on that actually, is the cultural distortion that I'm feeling here, where I don't think what she's wearing is part of her culture, but it's where her culture might be going. And that's kind of sad in a way. Yeah, so I'm happy to definitely come up. Let's see how much.
Thank you, Johan. Catherine, thank you. Catherine with a K.
I gave this 84. What does appeal to me in terms of the sense of place is really getting a feel of the barren landscape and how the forlorn look on her face pairs with that. On 84, I was probably holding it back for something quite minor, but the sort of the connection of her with the huts at the back. I was struggling a wee bit with the balance of it, but I think the sense of place is really strong, and I agree in terms of the colour and the muted palette is sensational.
Thank you, Catherine. Chris?
So I'm on 78, which I think is a bit mean. The sense of place is great. The expression is so good. It's, can I take your picture? Like, he doesn't want to be there. I got hung up on the distortion as well. I'm getting a little hung up on the gray in the sky. Like, there's a beautiful, vivid blue in the middle, and it's kind of going out to being gray. And maybe I shouldn't get hung up on that. Maybe I should lean into what Johanna is saying about her life is changing into something else, and she feels gray about it. So I think it's a good character study. It's a good location. I'll be moving up somewhat.
Thank you, Chris. And back to you, Catherine.
Okay, I hadn't noticed the distortion, to be honest. It really doesn't bother me. Johan, thank you for your comment about the outfit. Yeah, this isn't her culture. She's sort of displaced, and that's just adding to that mood. I think so is the grey in the sky and the desaturated grass. It's just all contributing to the story here. Catherine, I did notice the intersection of the head and the shed, and I thought, I'm not going to gold distinction for that reason. She's also, though, perfectly placed between the truck and the orange door. So, yeah, that's why I'm not at gold distinction, but I'm really happy on my 93. Hope you come and join me.
Thank you, Catherine. Judges, we'll get you to rescore. Very good talking there. We've got a solid silver distinction at 88. Well done, thank you. Print handlers, may we please have a blank screen? Catherine, I'm going to give you a bit of, sorry, Catherine with a K, I'm going to give you a little bit of a break. Thank you. Craig, may I pop you in place of Catherine, please? Thank you. I'm going to be swapping everyone in and out quite a bit, I think. So we're currently judging the travel category, proudly sponsored by Fujifilm. Hey, it's been a big day. I've been in this room for about 11 hours, I think. No, that's brilliant. Thank you. So you're logged in there, Craig? Great. Okay, print handlers, we'll get the next print to come through, please. The scores have come in and we have a gold at 90. However, Johan is challenging the gold.
Gold is not enough. I gave this a 98 straight out because I knew that I'd never be able to go up if I started talking at 92. What a strong, powerful image about travel. I want to go there. I want to be happy. I want to be warm. I want to play in that water. And there's an energy in that dive. The moment is captured right where you want it to be caught. There's a little bit of movement in the person going into the water. The waves are nice and sparkly. But then there's this sort of all-round warmth that holds you in there. What a wonderfully crafted image.
Thank you, Johanna. You have got people with you. I would like to maybe hear from Paul first.
Yeah, I'll apologise. I just totally missed the mark on this, and I'm down in the 70s. I'm not going to give you where in the 70s. And once again, the vignette was what hit me, and I sort of like couldn't get past it. So I'm going to just listen, and I'm going to go north with my score.
Thank you, Paul. Well, we're talking gold, so anyone can chat if they would like to, if they're keen. I had a bit of a nod. Who would else like to chat? I really think we should have a bit more of a chat around this. Thank you, Catherine.
I'm feeling a bit embarrassed too on my 88. Don't know what I was thinking. Just getting a bit self-conscious about all these golds they're throwing out, but this one needs it. What a fabulous image. Again, the colour, but also just the originality and the distortion of those legs, just driving everything straight in, and you're in there diving. You're really, the angle that this photographer has taken to bring you right into the image is just wonderful. The composition, you've got the sense of what's happening in the background. This isn't just a creative image, this is a travel image, and it's about being on holiday in this place, and you've got the feeling of culture. It's ticking all the boxes. It's great stuff.
Thank you. And Chris, thank you. And your score too, Chris, please.
So I'm on 81. I'm embarrassed. Not as embarrassed as Paul, but still a bit embarrassed. Decisive moment, check. Beautiful color, check. Those clouds, this is like the opening to a movie. The silhouette gives you enough information about what's around. You're right, I want to go here. And I've said this twice today, I'm a poo-poo head. I should be on gold, and I will be shortly.
Thank you, Chris. And I think you can chat, or you're happy there because you were very high as well, Craig. Let's go for it.
I'm at 92, and I really love it. I won't burst into song, but it reminds me of a song from a movie. I've been thinking of songs all day, but I have restrained still.
Cool. Thank you. Back to you, Johan.
What I love most about this image is the thing that people hate about photographs, the vignettes, the controls, the overworking and things like that, that people say, these are wrong. But in this instance, it's so right. And how powerful and how painterly and travel-y. I gave it a 98.
Thank you, Johan. Judges, just bring this home, eh? We have a gold with distinction. 95. Congratulations. I think we should all jump up and do a little bit of a dance around because we've been, yeah, it's very cool. I'm just going to give everyone, does anyone need to stand up or water? How are you going for like sugars? Do you think we should maybe grab you some cookies? How are you all feeling, judges? I'm being serious, actually. Yeah. Thank you. I'll do a couple more judge changes and a couple more images. Thank you, judges. You guys are doing great. Right, I think they're all looking ready to roll and quite expectant. Print handlers, may I get you to bring us the next print, please? We have a solid silver award at 83, however. Craig was, his hand was straight up there.
I'm on 92. this is not that I've had this experience, but this is what I imagine a night on some magic mushrooms might look like if you were in a masquerade ball or something, which maybe some people will experience at the gala dinner. Who knows? There's a sense of movement here. The colour is obscene. It's absolutely pushed to the limit of saturation, and I love it. The thing that pushed it right into gold for me is that there is actually a person in there hiding behind all of these masks. There is somebody there, and that they're hidden right there in the middle of the image. I think this is really bold. The printing is fantastic, and it really brings out that quality. And yeah, I hope that I'm not out on my own on this one, but I do definitely think this is gold.
Thank you. Johan, could I hear from you, please, and your score?
Why?
I love the humility here.
Was it because I gave it 74? I saw the person, and that's the reflection of the photographer in the window. And it did fill me with joy and excitement and energy, but I couldn't see like goldy stuff in it. I can go up with my score to a silver, I think, but I'm going to listen to what people say. It didn't quite energize me.
Thank you, Johan. And Chris?
I'm on 83, which is a bit timid. I can see 3 people in there. There's the photographer and there are 2 other faces, and the faces are kind of, I think it's a reflection, and so they're kind of moving through the scene. But they are so boring, and their faces are cold. And how boring are humans compared to all this other stuff that we can see, which is kind of the point. So this is a celebration of faces and a cacophony of colors. I'm going to be moving up.
Thank you so much. Anyone else like to chat? Or yep, let's go. Paul first. Thank you.
Yeah, I was at the lower end of things, but not at the bottom. For once. And I guess I was at the lower end because I was looking for a little nugget, and I did see the person, but it wasn't actually until I've sat back here that I can see that the positioning of the person, it looks like the lion's head is where the person's head should be, and now I'm definitely coming up. Yeah.
Thank you. And Catherine?
Oh, I just wanted to let you know you're not alone, Craig. Well, I'm not on gold, but I'm on 87, and I think you see more and more the more you look at this, and it's just this completely psychotic little world that drags you in there, unfortunately, but, in a wonderful way.
Brilliant. Thank you, Catherine. So, you can bring this home. Craig?
Yeah. Johan, you should probably take more drugs. I completely missed it's the photographer's reflection, and I think that it adds even more to it for me, because they're wearing a mask, and that adds to it. So anyway, I won't go on. I would love this to be in gold range, and let's see if we can get it there.
Thank you, judges. We have a score of 90, gold. That's a fantastic result. Thank you very much. Could we please have a blank screen? Johan, I'm going to give you a bit of a break. Thank you very much. Tracy Scott, could we bring you in place of Johan, please? And I thought I'd just quickly check with you, Catherine. How are you? Are you happy to stay on a bit longer? Or are you feeling a bit? Yep. Okay, cool. We'll keep you on for a bit longer. Keep a couple of the girls on the mix. That'd be great. Thank you. And you're logged in there? You're good? Brilliant. May we please have the next print? we've got quite consistent judging here. We've got a silver at 81. Thank you very much. We will accept that. May I please have a comment from, thanks, Craig.
Yeah, love the tones in this. The people at the bottom, it took me a while to find them, and then I saw them and I really enjoyed it. To make it stronger, I think probably a crop from the left, that brightness on that side, and then the continuation of the sky on the very left-hand side are quite dominating over the rest of the image, so a crop there would make this more successful.
Thank you, Craig. I had a couple of more nods from the judges too, so I think there's a bit of agreement with that. But that's a really good score, and congratulations to the entrant. May we please have the next print? Gets a bit sticky, doesn't it? You print handlers are doing an amazing job back there. Thank you very much. You're incredible. We've got a 79, which is a very high bronze award. Well done. We've got room to challenge it if there's one person that can take that up if they prefer. Do you want to take that up, Paul?
Yeah, I'll give it a little nudge. I might be out on a limb. I gave it 85. Geez, I'm either at the bottom or the top. And I mean, it's a fairly simple image, and that can't be denied, but and it is pin sharp. But the thing that I liked or most enjoyed about it was the tonal range within it. And I think that's probably what sold me on it. And it might be just a one-trick pony. Yeah. On what sold me, I'm a simple lad, and it doesn't take much to make me like a print. So I haven't got many more arguments for it, apart from that I did like the print toning, and yeah, that's about it. So I'm not sure if anybody, other people got to say about it.
No, thank you, Paul. I'd like to maybe hear from a couple that are down a little bit lower. Are you happy to chat, Craig? Yeah. Yep, thanks.
Yeah, I gave it 77. I think it's definitely deserving of an award. The expression on that person's face is fantastic, and I really also enjoyed those tonal ranges. I thought that the composition could be a little bit stronger with more space to give that horse energy to run into on the left-hand side, and that eye line is right through that main horizon as well, which is a little bit of a problem for me.
Yeah, and Catherine, you're happy to? Thank you.
Yeah, I gave this a 76, so giving it an award for the reasons you've outlined there, Paul. I felt that there was a mismatch between the energy of the boy and the horse. That looks a little bit bored, and I think the photographer has handled this well, but it feels a little bit like the kid is performing for them, and they've done a really above professional standard job of capturing this, so I'm glad that it's got an award, but I would struggle to take it into silver.
Thank you, Catherine. Back to you, Paul.
Yeah, it looks like we're just going to have to score it and see where it goes.
Right, judges, could we rescore, please? Aha. So we have a score of 79. So we're going to put that into a review, so what that means to the audience is that the judges now have to score 79 for a bronze or 80 for a silver. And it's come in at a bronze at 79, but very high. Congratulations. Thank you. We will accept that. I'm actually going to do another judge change. Paul, we're going to give you a bit of a break. Not because, nothing to do with the result that you've done really well. Dan, could we pop you in place for Paul Daly, please? Thank you. We'll get you to log in. And judges, you're actually doing really well for the lateness, and I know you had a big day, but your comments, keeping them succinct, we're actually right on time, even though we're running an hour late, if that makes sense. So the way you're doing is you're doing really good. Really good. Thank you. So you're logged in there. Brilliant. May we please have the next print? We've got a silver award at 80. Well done. Catherine is challenging this.
What? This is daylight robbery. I'm sorry, I'm seriously surprised. I gave this 88. Oh, I think this is fabulous. This is really creative, interesting. I'm loving the slightly cartoonized effect that we're getting. So it's not just a bit of camera shake going on, but they're getting a really cool effect. Like there's that guy on the right who's looking away on his phone. He looks like somebody out of one of those architectural drawings or sort of a CGI guy dropped in there. So I find it fascinating. And you're just spotting more and more things as you're going around the image. And I think it's really creative and it's beautifully presented. So what are you guys thinking?
Right. Thank you, Catherine. I'd like to come down to Craig or Dan, please. Either of you two can have a chat.
Okay. I'm at 75. I thought this was deserving of an award. I really appreciate the sense of movement, but also the watercolour kind of feel of it. And that is echoed in that kind of soft tonality. I really struggled with what was happening in parts of the scene, though, and I thought that highlight that's blown out on that central figure, and it's been pulled down to make that look less obvious, but in doing so it's gone muddy and has become a bit more obvious. So that's why I didn't go into the higher award range.
Thank you. Tracy, Tracy, could I hear from you first, please, if I can? Thanks.
I scored the 79 and I put it into the award range because of that lovely painterly feel, and I thought it was a creative rendition and it gave us a sense of culture and place. But there were parts of it that were painterly and parts of it that were very photographic, and the two didn't quite mix. The sign to me just wasn't in keeping with everything else within the image. There were bits that worked and bits that just, I would like to have taken it higher, but it was a near miss.
Thank you. And just before I use you, Chris, I think everyone wants to chat. So Dan, you wanted to chat too. Thanks, Tracy.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Tracy. It's very bitty. It's like an impressionist painting in one part, and then it becomes more photographic, and then there's this sort of part there where it looks like it's all been just blurred. The technique has swamped what was probably originally a really, really interesting picture. So that's my feeling of it.
Thank you. Chris?
All right, I'm pumped up now listening to that. That's great. I'm on 83. I thought watercolor at first. I'm getting cyberpunk now, and I'm getting a mix of cyberpunk, daytime cyberpunk and watercolor. Just like if you were in this location, there's a mix of modern and old that are clumped together in a wonderful chaos. So on 83, the reason that I was kind of held back at first is towards the right, there's a section of blue where it's just like it's super clipping and, you know, it feels a bit less comfortable. I'm suddenly really comfortable with that because it feels like this is in camera, right? I mean, someone has made this and it's come up with something that is evoking technology and paint and old and new. It's a wonderful piece of art, super chaotic. I'm probably going to come up with you.
Thank you, Chris. And Catherine, back to you.
Oh, thank you. I turned you off. Dan, you said it's that this beautiful scene had sort of been swamped by the technique. I think that's the exact opposite. We would have been swamped in the detail, and instead this photographer has made a beautiful painting out of it. You guys down the end there, you'd pointed out a few things that I hadn't noticed, but I think that Chris has done a brilliant job of addressing those. So, yeah, I'd love to see get some more points, bring it up.
Thank you so much, Catherine. Right, judges, we'll get you to rescore, please. One more to go. Craig, just you.
Because I'm the challenger, I must set the same score.
But you didn't challenge. Oh, okay, that was me. My bad. I probably popped you in as it. Hang on a second. I might get Paul for this. Thank you. We've got the most important person in the room right beside me. Thank you. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Craig, for your patience there. We've made a very solid silver at 84. Congratulations. We'll accept that. So we're going to have a virtual blank screen at the moment. That is the end of the print entries. We're going to now start on the digital. But what we're going to do is we're going to do quite a bit of a judge swap in between because we've got a little bit of time. Not long, but... Yeah, okay, thank you. So you haven't fixed... I'll have to check this with you too, if I can. Just a question. Right, I'm going to do a bit of a judge change at the moment. We've had someone for quite a while. Chris Anderson, you've been amazing. Our Australian, thank you all. Mike, thanks, Chris. Mike, may I bring you in place of Chris Anderson, please? Thank you. We've got Mike Langford coming in, so we'll get you to log on. And Catherine, you've been brilliant as well. Thank you so much for your hard work. You've done really well. Tony Carter, can we pop you in place of Catherine Katnak, please? So currently in the travel categories, proudly sponsored by Fujifilm. Right, are we ready to go, Paul? Wow, these guys are like amazing turnarounds. Brilliant. Okay, well done. Right, may we please have the next image? We've got a 73, which is a professional standard, which means that it's not an award range, but it's still at pro standard. Dan, there is option for you to challenge. Yes, you would? Okay, thank you.
I like this. There's a feeling of heat in the summer, and this young boy or young person is really enjoying his machine, whatever machine it is. It looks like a really cool machine. And what I really like about this picture is that other kid who's put his bicycle down and he's looking with envy at this motorbike. And that's what he wants. He's not happy anymore. So we've got a really, really interesting scene happening here. I'd like to see the next frame now.
Thank you, Dan.
I
Tony,
scored 81.
oh, sorry. Thanks, Dan. Tony Carter, can we hear from you, please?
Yeah, I'm at the bottom end of the bottom end. I'm at 67. I don't really see what you see. I'm sorry. What I see is not a lot because it's all out of focus, really, and it's you know, the lighting's very severe, and it's in that depth of field to me, it's just dropped everybody out to a level where they don't even really look that human. So I'm not getting a sense of place or anything like that. And you know, the boy on the bike merging with the other people just don't hold together for me for an award standard.
Thank you, Tony. I'd love to hear from maybe someone in the middle. Who's going to look at me first? Thank you, Tracy.
I scored the 74. Same problems that Tony had. The man merging behind the boy, his face is underexposed, and that lamppost is very, very dominant with such a bright foreground. It just didn't quite come into an award range for me.
Thank you, Tracy. I might come back to Dan.
Well, I feel a bit like that boy on his bike, all alone. What can I say? It's obviously not going to go anywhere, but I'm still giving it my vote, and I still hold that little kid there is looking with envy. Doesn't have to have any details. His body tells me what he's doing. He's thrown his bike down and said, "Stuff that, I want one of those." Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Judges, could we rescore, please? One more to go. Dan, I think you just need to pop your score back in. That's okay. Can you get that in? Hello. Yep, you're in here. Okay. We haven't budged. We're at 73, but that was a good discussion for the entrant. They would have learnt a bit from that. So thank you very much. That's a professional standard. We'll accept that. May we please have the next image? Right, judges, we just need a few scores to come in. Might be missing a couple. Okay, here we go. We've got a bronze award at 75. Well done. all within about 3-4 points of each other, so that's fantastic. We'll accept that. And may I hear from one of the photographers who'd like to maybe add a little bit more critique? Thank you, Mike, to the entrant.
Yeah, it's an in-camera multiple exposure, and a little bit more separation of the two files would have made it much stronger.
That's great critique. Thank you so much, Mike. Much appreciated. Right, we're going to do a little bit of a change. Craig, we're going to give you a bit of a break. Thank you very much for your work. Catherine Williams would love to... Oh, she might have just popped... Oh, look at this. You are on fire, girl. Catherine Williams will pop you back in. Thank you. Fantastic. She's Wonder Woman. You ready to roll, are you, Catherine? Thank you so much. I'm just going to do, in fact, just before that, I've just been asked to reread this category description to the entrants that are online, that are listening, and also that would just like to reiterate for the judges just to hear the category description one more time. So it's photographs that illustrate a destination or culture and communicate some aspect of travel, even if the location is local. Travel relates to an area's landscape, people, culture, customs and history. Photographs should express or reference either the feeling of a time and place or simply portray the land or its people in its natural state. So I've just been asked to repeat that. Right, we can go to the next image, please. We have a bronze at 77. Good bronze award there. Thank you. There's an option to challenge if you want to, Dan, but have you accepted that? Yeah. You have, Cole?
Definitely.
So you're challenging?
I'm challenging.
You are, okay. I
Yes.
thought you might have, yep, okay.
Can I just challenge now?
Yep, go for it.
Right.
And also your score, please, Dan.
My score is 85. This has got culture all over it. It's got kids just coming out after the rain. There's lots happening in this picture, and it's really pulling you in to the scene at the end of the road there where the sun is out. I figure this is Spain, and I really like this image. It's strong. Technically, we've got the converging verticals, but that doesn't matter. It's what it's done. It's given us a little bit more of the detail of the next floor, of the beautiful scalloping on the details, the architectural details. No, this is a strong image, a good travel image.
Thank you, Dan. Mike, could we hear from you, please?
I gave this 76, which means I scored an award, which I feel really good about, because I think the essence of the image is the two kids, the little girl still holding onto her brother's hand, but turning back towards the camera. But I feel as if to go any higher, I'd like to see more emphasis on the children and less emphasis on the sky. It's almost like I feel it's truncated, and I'm looking at the wrong things and the wrong power. So for me to go up further, I'd like to see more concentration down the bottom.
Thank you, Mike. Excuse me, I just choked on my mandarin. I might come actually back. Does anyone middle of the road like to have a quick chat, or should come straight back to Dan? Tracy, you're looking kind of half hesitant there. Thank you.
I scored the 74 when I first saw it from back here, and I thought, wow. And I got up there and I was somewhat disappointed. the children were just a bit too back on, they were a little bit soft, so my eye travelled past them to the end, to the light, and it was just a row of tourists standing in a queue, and I felt somewhat let down. Yeah, I wanted to see more of this place and the people.
Okay, thanks, Tracy. Dan, we're back to you, please.
Wow, repetition here. Okay. I don't think this picture is necessarily all about those children. The people at the end of the street, in the open air there, they're congregating after it's been raining as well, and they want to get out. They've been cooped up inside, and this is so Spanish. And this is the parents are probably still sleeping during the siesta, and they just want to have fun. That's what I see in this picture.
Thanks, Dan. Judges, can we get you to rescore, please? You're fine. And Dan, you're the only one. You might have to do what you did last time. Yeah. You're doing good, Dan, don't worry. Okay, well, you did try, but we've kept it 77, which is still a good solid bronze. Congratulations to the entrant. We will accept that. And Dan, nothing to do with your last chat. We're going to give you a bit of a break now. We're going to bring in Johan van Kayan in place of Dan, please. Thank you. Now, judges, we have got an awful lot of energy boosters at the end of the table here, so just grab them as you feel fit. There's some sandwiches and crackers and chocolate and that just to get you going. I know all of you have been here since about 7:30 this morning. Yeah. How are you feeling, Tracy? You're still good at the moment? Yep, you're good? Okay, thank you. If you'd like anything, come on over and grab something. It's brilliant. We've got our awesome boss, Rochelle. Also, everyone, while everyone's having like a bit of a quick sugar rush for energy, we've got the Ian Pull Memorial Award for all of you in the audience here. We would like you to be the judges for a change. So we would like you there's a box out the back there to vote for your favourite judge and whatever you liked about them. It could have been their energy. It could have been what you really admired their talk. In their narrative, so we'd love you to put their names down if you feel that they deserve that Ian Pull Memorial Award. So just a reminder that if you please pop that down, that'd be fantastic. Thank you. Right, we're proudly doing the travel category and sponsored by Fujifilm, so we're really grateful for them. And just remember that you can go out to the Fujifilm stand anytime for more information about their amazing product. So that's ready to roll from tomorrow. And we've got sugar rushes going on here. Mike is ready to roll. We will have the next image, please. So I've got next image up. So you've got the next image. Thank you. Oh, you judges are on fire here. We have got a professional standard at 72, very, very close together. You're literally within about 2 or 3 points of each other, all 5 of you. So that's a pro standard. And may we please have a comment from Tracy? Thank you.
Sorry, I've got a mouthful of chocolate. This is a really lovely portrait of this girl. Beautiful expression. She's beautifully framed in that V. But these glacial caves are absolutely stunning, and I would love to have seen more of where she is. I just felt it was a lost opportunity.
Thank you, Tracy. That's really good. And I saw a couple more nods too from a couple of the other judges. It's great critique. May we please have the next image? The results have come in, and we have a solid silver at 84. However, Johan has challenged this.
Shouldn't take much of us now that we've had some sugar to just squeak it over into the silver distinction. I wanted to give this a gold, but I didn't because there seemed to be this haloing above the dark buildings at the top that drifted into the softness, and that was the only reason, because it's just marvellous. It talks of chaos, it talks of busyness, it talks of frantic, and then you have this peaceful bird flying through the gentle background. I'm just describing what I'm seeing, but it is quite effective to give that sense of busyness and that sort of city life. I gave it an 87.
Thank you, Johan. Mike, can I hear from you, please?
Sure, I gave the 78 a bronze award. I actually felt, even though it's a clever thing to do, the triple exposure in camera, it's clunky. The right-hand side's quite empty, and as you say, busy. The left-hand side's got all the interesting things, but at the same time, they've cropped off the top of the building, which I think needs to be left in, and I think there's more space needed at the top and less space at the bottom. So I feel it's just a little bit underdone. I think a bronze is a worthy level. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. I'd love to hear from one of the judges that are middle of the road. Thank you, Catherine.
Yeah, I was on 84, and I really felt that was the highest score I could give it because of the steeples being cropped off. I think the layering in this is absolutely wonderful, but just losing those steeples is just taking me out of the top, and I'm finding it hard to get past that.
Thank you, Catherine. Tony.
I'm on 88. If you had steeples in the top of them, you'd actually get lead out of the top, not the other way around, for me anyway. I think it's an easy sort of distinction. I feel you just roll through this image. With all those little details and intricate layers, and if you just look at it and just squint at it a bit, you can see layers of black and light leading through. So you roll from the dark at the bottom, flowing up through the top, just gently, just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. If you have the steeple at the top, then you're out of the image. You get pulled back down. I think it's beautiful. It's very rhythmic. Feeling of mist and intrigue, pattern, rhythm flow, still with its distinction, easy.
Thank you, Tony. Right, back to you, Johan.
Tony, I love the way you use your hands when you're doing that. The audience can't see that, but you are rolling your hands around saying, this is a rolling image. And I agree with you. You pace through it, you find a window, you find a door, you find something else that you can identify, and then you sit on it for a while, and then you travel somewhere else. And this is what travelling's about. You discover and find. So I think as a representation of travelling on its own, it's quite powerful. And I agree with the punctuation of the steeple being a stopping point to hold you within the frame and not send you away. So I'm on 87, you're on 88. There's not many more we need. Come on.
Thank you, Johan. Judges, could we rescore, please? Johan, you've made a silver distinction and 85. Well done. Congratulations to the photographer. Yes, I'll actually just have the next image, please. We have a score of 74, which is a pro standard. And Johann's challenged.
Yep.
You're first up there, Johann.
I left my thing on anyway, so. I can see there's a printing issue here, and I gave it 82, and it's a bit too bright in the foreground, but there is this wonderful sense of faux modesty where this person's not trying to reveal themselves but somehow is, and then kind of reflecting on the person in the background. The fact that they're slightly soft in the foreground sort of gives you a sense of, well, I'm not supposed to be looking here, I'm supposed to be looking at what's in the background. It's a little bit messy. I gave it an 82. I'm actually not going to ask you to give me a silver. You're on 74. You can just sneak it into a little bronze there. Yeah.
Tony, can we hear from you, please?
Yeah, I'm on 72. What has the photographer added to this? I feel they've photographed somebody else's art in somebody else's curated show, and they haven't brought anything to the picture besides seeing what somebody else has laid out. So I don't really see any art in that, besides seeing something, a nice show in photography.
Thanks, Tony. And Mike?
Yeah, just added to that, Johan, it's very out of focus in the foreground, not a little bit, it's very out of focus. But also, if the photographer had done this in a monochrome, then we wouldn't have the distraction of the bucket behind the second sculpture. So there's all sorts of little things in there that add up to something quite large.
Thank you, Mike. Back to you, Johan.
I'm seeing a tiled floor. I'm glad you made me go up and look, though. That's awesome, because I now see the third sculpture, and he's looking on with, well, you know, what are you looking at? You pervert. It's just full of little gems, but the craft hasn't been perfect, and that's a shame for the photographer. I want to reward the photographer for their curation, where they've cropped out and chosen the point of view where you do get these three figures. I'd like to see a lens designed to get that much depth of field, but it's strong, but I'm not saying it's a gold or a silver. I'm saying, well, just sneak it up from 74, just one little point to a bronze.
Thank you, Johan. Let's
the other guy?
bring it home. You had some tough customers here, Johan. We've stayed at 74, so that's still pro standard, so we'll accept that. Thank you very much. Just a reminder to the judges, we do have to keep our comments quite succinct. I'm going to be, I'm going to be a little bit more strict on you now. Thank you. Now, I'm just going to do a bit of a judge change as well. Mike, we've had a great time with you. Thank you very much. We'll give you a bit of a break. Chris Anderson, would love to hear from you, please. And Tracy Scott, you've done a sterling job there. Thank you. Catherine Katanak, can I pop you in place of Tracy Scott? Thank you. I'm going to be a little bit more stricter too with the judges. I'm really going to go top, bottom, middle, and I've been asked quite to do that too, so if we're just going to do that for a while. Thank you. So if I don't pick you, there's a reason. Thank you. Right, are you ready to go? Cool. Next image, please. So that next image. So we're currently in the travel category, proudly sponsored by Fujifilm. You guys are all doing great out there. Nice smiles. We've got a bronze award at 75. Well done. Congratulations. Very close. Fantastic result there for the entrant. May I hear from a judge as to what they enjoyed, but also what they could have done to maybe bring it up a few points? Thank you, Chris.
Wonderful colours, great composition, but the hero is the little dots of tents or whatever is kind of in the distance, with the darker ones on a light background over here and the lighter ones on a dark background. I think there's more happening to the right of the frame, and we kind of cut off that sequence of dots, and I wish I could see more. I forget what score I put because it's gone now, but I really like the image.
It was a
Thank you,
bronze,
77,
yeah,
thank you.
75. Thank you, Chris. That's really good critique there. May we please have the next image? We've got a score of 71, which is pro standard. And the scores were literally within about three points of each other, so you're all quite even net scoring there. And Chris, would you like to talk to the photographer? Thinking how they could have maybe brought that up into the award range?
Sure, I was on 71. I'll say that this time. It's a great sense of place, and it's very busy. I feel like there's a lot of attention that's been placed on that waterway that's taking us somewhere. Like, where does the photographer want us to look? It's at the end of that, and what's there? Not much. So I think maybe finding a focal point that we can rest on and really spend some time on would elevate this.
Thank you so much, Chris. Appreciated that. May we please have the next image? We've got a solid bronze at 78. Well done. However, Catherine Williams is challenging this.
Yeah, I gave this 83. What a serene moment, beautiful lighting and sense of the time of day. What really got me was the shapes that's been created that is mirroring what's in the environment, and how the shadow sort of cradles the shape of the iceberg in the front. And that sort of brought it all in together. It gave a synergy to it that just brought it into that silver range.
Thank you, Catherine. The other Catherine, could we hear from, please?
I gave this 73. Absolutely beautiful time of day to be shooting in this stunning location. I appreciated the sense of quiet and the yoga pose going on there. I felt that the person needed a little bit more headroom so that you had that sense of calm. I was sort of dropping away on the bottom left of the image, and I was a little troubled by the intersection of that little iceberg with the shadow of the big one there. So that's why I'm giving it a low bronze.
Thank you, Catherine. Tony, could I hear from you, please?
Yeah, I'm on 78. I think I will come up into low silver. I think it's one that you sort of have to sit with. To start with, I thought the person was not strong enough, but then as you look at it, you sort of see that leading leg line in the rock in front, and then you sort of get pulled around and zigzagged around the image, but in a calm way, and that's right out to the back mountain ranges. Just with that beautiful piece of soft light coming through, balance of warm hues in the sky and in the water gives a sense of serenity, and this person's at one with nature in a beautiful spot, and it's well seen and well executed.
Thank you, Tony. Could I get back to you, please, Catherine?
Yeah, I'm really appreciating the contemplative nature of this. The iceberg, the small iceberg that you speak of that intersects with the shadow, it's like the baby iceberg. It's connected and it makes it less bitty. It's less disjointed. So I feel that doesn't bring it all down at all. And I'm just rewarding it. It's a very strong sense of place here. Very calm and serene image.
Thank you, judges. Sorry, Catherine. Thank you. Judges, could we get you to rescore, please? We've made a silver at 80. Well done. Congratulations. Great talking there, Catherine. Thank you very much. May we please have the next image? We've got a pro standard at 74. There is a room to challenge into award standard if you did want to, the two Catherines, but if you don't, that's cool too.
I'll just have a comment. So are we
If you,
ready for that?
yep, that's fine.
Or are they consulting about that?
You've both accepted that because you have got an option if you did want to bring it into an award. Okay, thanks, Catherine.
Take your time. Have a chat
Sorry,
about
Tony
it
just said,
first.
take your time, Catherine. Okay, I gave this a 78, and I think it's a beautiful, quiet image with a whole lot of mood and some gorgeous leading lines. I'm enjoying the contrast of the warmth of the ground compared with that sort of incoming storm and the promise of some pretty shitty weather coming on here. So, yeah, beautiful layering in the hills, and yeah, not asking for much, but I do think a quiet little bronze would be rather nice.
Thank you, Catherine. Sorry, Johan, my pay grade's been told what to do, so I'm just following orders. I'd come back to you. Yes, I need the lowest.
Yeah, that's good.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Tony.
I'm on 72. I think that the structure of this looks fine, but it looks like somebody's just been playing with sliders, really. Like the darkness on the top hill on the right has been pulled down dark, and then the foreground's been pulled up, down, up, down. But it's not really, this is not natural lighting. This is somebody maybe not having total control. Maybe work better in monochrome, but I think it's just, I don't see a skill set here that has pulled something together.
Thank you, Tony. Now back to you, Johan. I'm allowed.
Actually, I wasn't going to add any more than Tony said. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so I think we can bring this home, Catherine.
Unfortunately, I'm not going to bring it home because I had been reading that as an incoming storm, but I think that you are probably right. That is too dark, and I do appreciate what you're saying about sliders. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Catherine. Could judges, if we could put your scores back in, please. And we've kept that at 74, but there was a lot of good talk for the entrant. Thank you very much. We'll accept that. Could we please have the next image? We've got a pro standard at 74, and that's been accepted by all the judges. Thank you very much. We will accept that. Could we maybe have some words from Johan? Thank you for the entrant.
Sure. There's a wonderful sense of peril here, waiting for a train. And I think the photographers framed it quite nicely with the canopy over the top. However, the treatment has created a sense of, well, over-treated, and to get the details in the shadows and in the highlights. So that takes away from perhaps the image itself.
Okay, thank you very much, Johan. We're just going to have a virtual blank screen at the moment. Catherine Williams, you've done a sterling job. Thank you so much for your hard work. We appreciate that. I'm going to bring in Tracy Scott to replace Catherine, give her a good break. And Tony Carter, give you a break too, eh? Thank you very much. And Paul Daly, can we bring you in place of Tony Carter? And actually, while Paul's logging in, we'll just go to the next image anyway, and then he can come in behind you guys. I'll give him a bit of time. Thank you. We have a bronze award at 75. Thank you very much. We will accept that. May I have a word from Chris? Thank you.
This location is incredible, and I think the treatment of portions of it are wonderful, especially the kind of highly reflective part towards the left-hand side of the frame. I actually think the people are superfluous to this. The pose isn't giving us a lot other than scale, and I think I would have enjoyed this without that element, or if they were posed in a way that gave more of a connection. But still, the score is good, so congratulations.
Thank you very much, Chris. May we have the next image? We've got a silver distinction at 86. However, Johan has shot his hand up faster than a gun, so...
Yes, I gave this a 92. What photographic mastery we have here. The fact that we have this rim lighting on the camels against the dark background, that would have so been lost in there. The fact that you've got the man with, let's call it a turban, that's white against the dark, and his clothes, which are dark against the light. The poise of his pace is perfect. And then you've got 3 people on camels, and each of them is doing their own thing. they're tourists, they're travellers, they're something. One's looking off that way and pointing out, nobody else is listening. Another's looking at something in their hands, and then the third one is waving something around, which might be a camera or it might not. And what a wonderful background with that detailed town coming through. What a control of black and white. How stunning. 82. 92, just like that, just like that.
Thank you, Johan. Got to go down to Chris, if I can, please.
So we're trying to get to 82, is that right? 92.
Keep going.
Okay. You're right. The rim lighting is amazing. The characters are amazing. The background's amazing. And it's cinematic. So I think I was shy in 83. What kind of kept me back originally is the stuff towards the left where it's really dark. And, there's that kind of shadow in that area that's really quite black. And that brings my eye over there, and it doesn't reward that journey. I think that needs to be in the frame, or you'd lose the building that's on top of that portion. So if that was treated differently, I'd be happier. But I'm thinking those are minor quibbles, and I'll be coming north.
Thank you, Chris. And Catherine, I think you wanted to talk. You're in the middle there.
I gave this an 86. Johan, loving everything you're saying here. I really didn't need much to get over the line into gold. This is a fantastic travel image, wonderful sense of space, wonderful sense of artistry. I'd just like to point out that not only are the camels not being lost against the darkness because of the rim lighting, but it's creating the effect, well, to me at least, of a piece of string that goes along. You've got the lead, and then the lead just keeps going up in these wonderful shapes, and I think that's just brilliant.
Thank you very much, Catherine. So back to you, Johan.
Wow. Now I can be disappointed. But, and that lovely reveal of the camels that starts with the man towing them along, and then you've got a whole camel, then you've got lesser of a camel, then you've got even lesser of a camel, but it's held together by that thin thread. How beautiful, how wonderful, how 92 at least.
Brilliant. Thank you, Johan. I'll get you to all rescore. We've made a gold at 92. Congratulations. Fantastic result there. Really good. And I think you guys are doing really good. And I think we'll go straight into... Actually, we won't. No, we won't. I'm going to give Tracy Scott a break, I think. Craig Turner-Bollock, we're going to pop you in place of Tracy. Tracy, you've done brilliantly. Thank you very much. That Sugar Rush has kind of helped. I'm going to keep turning you all around a little bit. Thank you. And while Craig's logging in, I might just get you boys and girls straight up to the next image, please. Just a reminder to the judges too, just to keep their words important but succinct. We have a pro standard score at 73. However, we've got a challenge from Chris.
I'll keep it concise. I'm on 82. Props to these two for being good photographers, for spotting an amazing background for their selfie. That's what they've done. They're in this location that is exquisite, and the lights on the roof are amazing, and there's all these things to look at, but they're spending their time getting a selfie in front of a mottled colored background. I think this is a great statement. We've seen this statement many times, but I think this expresses it very well. I'm on 82. I could be pushing pretty hard to get you there, but let's at least get this guy into a bronze.
Thank you, Chris. I'd like to hear from either Catherine or Craig, please. You're all on both the same score.
Yeah, I scored 70. I think for me to come up into an awards range, I would have liked to have seen those vertical lines dealt with, and I think the placement of those selfie takers could be improved as well. They're against the shadow there. A little bit of a shift would have brought them into a lighter area and not had their heads kind of disappearing into that shadow behind.
Thank you, Craig. I think, Johan, you were just nodding, or I think we might actually, you were all nodding. I think we might just go straight back to you, Chris.
I can't argue about the placement of the selfie takers. If they were a little bit further to the right, that would have been amazing. And understand about the diagonals, but that gives it, I don't mind that. That gives that sense of scale and the thing that they're not paying attention to that they should be. So maybe we could just squeak this up and reward them with a couple more points.
Thank you, Chris. Judges, could you rescore, please? Oh, sorry, that's my bad. I'll just get this going through for you. Just give me 2 seconds. Hang on, just a couple more seconds and it should clear up for you. Okay. You raised it a point, Chris. We've got it 74, which is still pro standard, but I think the entrant would have valued a lot of that feedback and listened to a lot. So thank you very much. I'll accept that. And could we please have the next image? We've got a pro standard score at 74. Reasonably close there. Thank you very much. So could I maybe get a word from Johan? You enjoyed it, but is there anything that the photographer could have done to get it into the award range?
Actually, could you ask somebody else, because I...
Yep, no worries at all. Johan, if you wanted to, you could have challenged it, so that's completely up to you. You would prefer to? No? Okay. No, that's good. May I hear from Chris? Thank you very much.
So it's a busy area, lots to see, nowhere for your eye quite to rest, and that's part of the point, is it's meant to be busy. I kind of feel like there should be something that we latch onto. Now, what it could be is the danger that this train is posing to all the people who are awfully close and that girl whose back is to the camera. If the photographer had just stepped to the right a touch, you would have seen that line of all the stuff that's so close to the train, and if that was the point, that would have sold the danger a little bit more and elevated this image.
Brilliant. Great critique. Thank you very much, Chris. Appreciate it. May I get the judges up to the next image? One more to go. Here we go. We have a pro standard at 73. Thank you. And I think everyone's... Oh, Catherine, you want to just chat to them, are you? Okay. We'll accept that score. Thank you. And Catherine would like to chat to the entrant as to what could have helped lift it a bit.
I appreciate the narrative that this photographer is giving us of this amazing city and these beautiful locations, and everybody's just on their phones. Unfortunately, as a series, this just is really not hanging together. That top left image is really weighing on the other two. When you put together images in a series, they've all got to speak to each other and be a cohesive whole in some way, and it's just not happening here.
Thank you, Catherine. Much appreciated for that. May I have the next image, please? Thank you. We have a score of 74, which is a good pro standard there. We've been challenged though. Johan is challenging.
Sure, 78 I gave it. I didn't really want to be the small dark neighbours on the side. This building is bigger than everybody else's building, and to the point where it's piercing the sky. And the way the clouds form up and then split apart where at the top of this building is actually quite perceptive. The intricacy of the window work as you go up, the detailing in it, it's quite spectacular. And then you have these two solid soldiers on the side. You know, they're there, they're strong, and they're such a contrast to this needlepoint building. I rewarded the photographer for just presenting us with a different perspective.
Thank you. I'd like to hear from maybe someone down a little bit the lower end. So maybe Catherine or Craig, please.
I gave this 72. I was not surprised by the perspective this photographer had taken. I guess they've been presented with this incredible scene and they've photographed it really well. I've put it in high professional standard. You were saying it's perceptive of them that the spire is breaking up the clouds. I doubt they had that much to do with it. Yeah, so yeah, it's a great, strong image, strong professional standard, but I'm not seeing anything to take it to an award.
Thank you, Catherine. Paul, you're in the middle here, so I'd love to hear from you too, please. Thanks.
Yeah, the only reason I went to 76 was I was enjoying once again the contrast with those dark buildings and the luminosity in the the actual main building in itself. But that was, yeah, that's as far as I took it.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Johan, back to you.
The effect on the sky is, you know, consequential. Not consequential. It's incidental, and but it is there, and you can see how as you get higher, it becomes more spacious and spread out, and it's denser as you go into the denser part of the town. Yeah, I'm not asking for moonbeams, but it's just such a sort of interesting perception and balance.
Thank you, Johan. Judges, could we get you to rescore? You couldn't do it. Oh, sorry. It's 74. It's pro standard though, so I'm sure the entrant would have taken some really good critique from that. Thank you very much. We'll just accept that. And judges, could we get you to have a look at the next image? Thank you to Fujifilm for being the sponsor for the travel category. In the trade stand, you can go there anytime in the next few days and you can actually talk to Ira and the team and they can tell you about all their goodies. We have a score of 71, which is a pro standard, very, what do you call it, right across the board, within about 2 or 3 points of each other. May we hear from one of the judges that, yeah, thank you, Craig.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential in this scene that just hasn't been fully realised, and perhaps if you were at the other end of the track in the image here, looking back, and we could see their faces and not just their backs, then that would help engage us a little bit more in what's going on.
Okay, thanks very much, Craig. Much appreciated. Could we have the next image, please? We've got a pro standard at 72. It looks like the judges have all accepted that. There was a room to challenge if someone wanted to, but if they don't, that's cool. Okay, we'll accept that. Thank you very much. Could we have a, Craig, you enjoyed that. Could we have a word from you about what you thought was great and what you think we could have moved it to the award range?
Yeah, I really like how these little people are all connected and holding hands, and they're all different heights, which adds a bit of an extra dynamic to it. I think that the top space is a little bit too much, probably cropping down from the top, and that blur up there is also a little bit distracting.
Thank you, Craig. I'm sure they took that on point. That's brilliant. And we have the last image of the evening. So, judges, could we get you to pop up there and have a look? We've got a bronze award at 75. Well done. Congratulations. Very even, consistent scoring there, all within about 2 or 3 points of each other. So that's brilliant to get a bronze there. Could I have maybe, thank you, Chris, to talk to the entrant there?
So there's, I really appreciate the framing in this, having that kind of the outer frame, and everything inside of that is quite gray and muted until you get to the inner frame of the white arch, and then the high contrast person with what almost looks like scissors coming out of the back of his head. I think to elevate this, I would have loved to have seen what he's looking at, or have him connect with someone, or have him in the process of something, and he's kind of just standing. So I think something more emotive from him, or being in progress of doing something more definitive, would have elevated this.
Thank you, Chris. And I literally saw almost every judge nodding at that too, so that's really good critique for the entrant. So congratulations on that bronze award. Hey everybody, we have finished the end. We have finished the end of the travel category. Well done. You guys have done really well. I'd really like to thank the judges for their amazing judging on a very long day, but they have kept their adrenaline going, and they've done super well, because it's, you know, they've been here for I'd say well over 12 hours, so well done. Big ups to you all. Thank you very much. And thank you also to the audience for your participation. We'd love to remind you before you leave, if you could maybe pop your judgment in for whoever you felt was the best judge for the Ian Paul Memorial Award. The box is just out there. We'd love to get a few entries in there as to who your favourite was. So thank you very much. Don't forget to come back, have a look at the trade stand tomorrow as well. There's a lot of goodies out there that's going to be tempting us all. And thank you so much for making the effort to come to the Iris Awards in 2023 today. And we'll hopefully see a lot of you tomorrow. So judges, could we maybe just keep you around at the moment for finals judging? And the ones who aren't chosen will be able to leave, but we'll just stay around for a bit longer. Thank you. And to everyone online, we will see you tomorrow, hopefully. And thanks for listening in. And have a good one. Okay, cheer up.